Hello everybody, this is Boone Wyatt with the 323 Concept Furniture Restoration. Thank you so much for watching. Today we are replacing the veneer on the side panels of a credenza. And as you see here, we're just scraping off all the old veneer. It was so dry and loose that it was coming off pretty easily. If you are dealing with something a little more stubborn, you can always put a heat gun or blow dryer to it, and that'll help loosen up the adhesive that's behind the veneer. So we're going to get all this scraped off. Once we do that, we can take a measurement for our new veneer. Now this veneer was a quarter sawn oak. I don't know if you'll ever really see it up close enough to know, but really pretty grain on this veneer. So we decided to replace it with something comparable and as beautiful as the original. So after you get your veneer removed, the main thing is you want a good, clean, dry surface for the new veneer to go up to. So we got that all sanded down, and now we're ready to cut our veneer sheet. Okay, so we get into measuring out our sheet of veneer, and obviously just take the measurements. And usually I will go just a little bit bigger than what I measured on the piece of furniture itself, and that just allows me to trim it back however much I need. It's definitely better to be just a little bit over than a little bit under, so that allows you a little room for error. So we will measure that out, create some straight lines, and cut it on a good solid surface. If you're smart, you'll put something underneath your blade in the concrete so you don't dull your blade like me. But we get that cut out. We do that ×2 for both sides of the credenza. And now the technique I'm using, sometimes you get a lot of different types of veneer. Some already have an adhesive backing. This one did not. So we're basically creating an adhesive backing where I'm just using some Titebond, I think it was Titebond 3 glue, and you can put that on there, let it dry completely, and you do that to both surfaces. And once those dry completely, you can basically just iron on your veneer. And like I said, you can get some of the self-adhesive packs at your local hardware store, and that's basically what they're doing is they're gluing the backing, putting some wood glue on the backing of their veneer, and then when you iron it on there, it's reactivating the adhesive and creating that bond. So we apply the glue to the veneer, we apply the glue to the credenza, we line everything up, make sure it's good to go, and I was keeping care to more align the top than the bottom on this because I can trim the bottom, and I like to try to leave my factory edge on the more visible edge, which in this case is obviously the top. So that's my thought process going through that. So we repeat that same process on the other side of the credenza, and I probably have my iron on a medium high heat, and just keeping that iron moving. You don't want to leave it in one place too long, otherwise you risk burning the veneer, obviously. So we're just keeping it gradually moving, and like I said, we're activating that glue, and it creates a bond between those surfaces. So one thing on this project that if I could go back, I would probably, I would have applied the glue on a cleaner surface. That blanket that it was laying on earlier was a little bit too dirty, and I think I got one or two little small dust nibs or something underneath or in the glue on the veneer. So, and I probably, instead of using my tiny little silicone brush, I probably would use a glue roller. Those I think are a little more effective. And so clean surface, more effective glue roller is sort of what I learned from this project. So from here, I go around. I'm using a really good sharp chisel to remove the excess, as you see here. There's a lot of different methods you probably could do this. A router with a flush trim bit may be your best bet if you have that tool. Chisel is also a good option, like you saw here. But remove the excess, sand it down. I'm probably sanding with a 220 grit. You don't need anything too abrasive, but just get that nice and flush. And on the left side, I really didn't have to do any trimming there because it runs into the front trim. So that one was already good. And that's another area where I left my factory edge. I wanted a really good factory edge up against that edge. So that pretty much concludes our video for today. From here on out, I pretty much am just applying stain. I'm not really going to go over the clear coating process, but just stain it and clear coat it, and should be good to go. You can always tone it if you need to match the color a little bit better, but the stain matched really, really well. So thank y'all so much for watching. If you've got any questions, feel free to comment below and I'll get back to you. Other than that, we hope to see y'all in the future. Thanks again for watching.